Welcome to the GraceFully Educated podcast, the place where we blend faith, wisdom, and learning with grace. I am your host, Carmela Carter, and I have the privilege and the honor to sit with Miss Chaneika Harris. Let's give it up for Chaneika. It is such a blessing and an honor to be able to sit with you. I think we met. I like to tell people how we met. Um, we met when we were younger, right?
Yes, yes.
In a drill team.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think we were on opposing drill teams.
Same.
What drill team was it? Miller Home. Okay, we was on the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I know, because when we got older, we start Miller Home started to split and all of the things. So we met on the drill team when we were younger. Do not ask our age because we look good. Period. But from then, life has just happened, and I am so honored to be able to sit with you today to learn about your education journey, right? Because these are things that I didn't know, but I would love the world to know, because like I follow you on socials, and just following you on socials, I see how you are an educator, a makeup artist, and you're doing the doggone thing. Wife, mom, and I see you still dancing. Follow her on socials. I'm gonna leave all her information on the screen. But tell us first, how did you get into education and your why, Miss Harris?
Okay. So for me, I come from a large family of women. My mom is number 6 of 7. Grew up in church. I had a lot of cousins, and we all lived at the same house growing up. So I always had models. I always had participants. And it all started with a wonderful 4th grade teacher named Miss Beverly Hill from Joyce Cameron Elementary School. She was sharp. And so I would want to, take dittos home back in the day with dittos. She would allow me to do that. I would play with my cousins. They were my little students. And from there, I was always around people that were teachers. So my grandmother's a retired librarian from East Trenton Library. She always did arts and crafts. I always went to church with her. Journey allowed me to be in spaces. Like I said, my grandmother, going to church with her all the time, working at the library, doing Sunday school, having cousins always around to be your participants, and being the oldest cousin or oldest granddaughter. I'm the second oldest cousin at about 17.
What?
Yes.
17 grandkids?
Yes. So imagine that growing up, right? Most of us, being in the house, living together for a good period of time until we all, our parents moved out and went to other places. Also, I was a product of a teen mother, so those things, being around my cousin, allowed me to just have a wonderful childhood and be around family. And like I said, the spaces of seeing people, seeing my grandmother, teaching Sunday school, going with her, seeing her lighting up East Trenton Library, and having a wonderful teacher in Beverly Hill. Back in the day, sleepovers were a big thing. Being part of the drill team, so I was always around wonderful people.
Yeah.
I had a joyful childhood, I would say that, and with that came gifts that I want to say, like, I recognized as gifts back then, but I was able to just lead at the beginning of my younger years. I did hair. So that's also a segue to my journey. So I wanted to be a cosmetologist. I wanted to be an accountant. I loved math. And then being around, like I said, my cousins all the time, I was able to allow them to be my students. So all of that wrapped in one. And then, like I said, having sleepovers, doing, I was also a cheerleader, so doing everybody's hair, having participants to be my students. And then I just finally arrived at, okay, I want to take this journey of being a teacher. And so I went to college to become a teacher.
What school did you go to?
I went to Lincoln University.
Okay.
So HBCU, shout out to Lincoln University, the Lincoln University in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Make it clear.
So, and I arrived at this journey of being around like different types of people.
Right.
And thinking about my process of being a student and how I could turn that chair from me being a student into a teacher. Like, what would I want? What was my experiences? Because usually your experiences shape who you are and what you do for other people.
Yeah.
And so with that, I decided to become a teacher and wanted to look at myself. Or what does that look like for me? I know what I came up with. I know what I see around me.
Right.
But what does that look like for me? Giving back to other students, and especially from where I came from. So.
Wow.
And I know we asked the why, but for me, it's always the why not.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not be that person who motivates, inspires, everyone,
right,
specifically children in education, because you are a teacher, but I am looking to inspire everyone. So I arrived at my journey of being a teacher, and mine, why was a why not? Why can't I? So here I am,
right.
20 years later on this journey, and it has turned into many things.
So what? Okay, what a wonderful story. I love how you came from your childhood. I can say that when I was younger too, I used to be the teacher of my friends. I wanted to be the teacher all the time. So I get that. And then from the childhood to then your fourth grade teacher just being a great inspiration. One of my teachers as well was Miss Murray at grad school. She was my inspiration. Then just continuing on the journey from hair school sounds good, but let me go ahead and become an educator. And so now 20 years later, here you are being an educator. Before we get there, let's talk to the college students, right? When you were in school at the HBCU, shout out to HBCUs, okay? What was it like in those spaces of being in class to become an educator? What was that community like?
I can say so. Starting off, you're away from home. Again, I talked to you about being from a large family,
right?
And when I move, you move just like that. We all moved the same way,
right?
Did the same things. Your support was there. So now it's like, okay, you're away from home. What does that look like? And I can say I enjoy being a part of my people.
Right.
And in the HBCU, a lot comes with it because you have people coming from different states, different cities, different countries. So, there are people, international students there that you get to see that you may not have saw or now you're living with, in a sense, on campus. You get to see a variety of us and our intelligent minds because we all were there for a specific purpose. We all had different personalities. So now it's growing up, me separating from being with my family my whole life, most of my life.
Right.
And now discovering separately who I am outside of my family and meeting wonderful people. The opportunity. So I always talk about African American studies as one of the courses in college. And my African American study teacher, he did not play. My professor, he did not play. He would provide you with that information, and you better know it. He will call you out in class about it as well.
Right.
So that is a foundation. Learning more about yourself.
Right.
Being around different types of you. I'm going to say different types of you. Like, this is me, but then come from different ways, different perspectives. And how do we get along?
Right.
How do we survive around each other, being that we're coming from different places? Some similarities. I would say just like when you grow up, you knew what street people lived on or where they came from. In college, same thing. Oh, you from New York. Like, oh, all right. Or you from New Jersey, or you from Philly, or whatever. Like, we can kind of identify based off, how you talk, how you dress. We could kind of identify with each other. And then, again, for me, I was a dancer, so that also was my connection.
Yeah.
So I joined the dance team, led the dance team. So that was another way of me, seeing me and building relationships, because in life is about building relationships. I can say I enjoyed it because it allowed me to grow up. It allowed me to make decisions. Allowed me to be around to understand what it's like being around other people, living around other people, whether it was in the same dorm or other dorms, and also the many different activities that they had on campus. Just united in certain ways. I'm not gonna say, oh, we all march to the same tune. We got along. There's differences, but it's uniqueness in differences. So,
were there any classes where you had a lot of teachers, everybody was going to school to become a teacher in those particular classes?
So we had our education, those who were pursuing education. So you had your core people who we came here to become a teacher. We're going to be graduating together, and we're also going to be spreading out in the world, sharing what we've learned from our process of being in college. So we had our core education, and again, just like the teacher I had in elementary school, there was a few favorite professors. I'll say rest in peace to Dr. Drew. He was one of our professors in education. Wonderful man. And then we had Dr. Lee, who was wonderful as well. And she also had her own school, so it was connections. I did my internship through her school.
Wow.
So I was happy to be able to experience that, to have a black professor. She's a professor here, but also had her own school at the time. Wow. And I was able to do my internship through her and experienced that. But yeah, we had our core education group. You know, we're going to classes together. You know, there's certain projects we got to do together. Who I'm going to link up with?
Right.
I'm just going to say who people had to think about who they going to link up with. It was me. I'm not going to lie. I was a brainiac.
Yeah, she's the bomb.
I'm a brainiac. And so yes.
I love that. I love that. So where are you now? What grade do you teach, and what's your journey been like so far?
Okay, so in these 20 years, I have spent my time in a variety of schools. So I had many coworkers, many principals. I've done third, fourth, fifth. I'm currently in first.
Okay.
I've done out of classroom positions. So I've done intervention. I've done learning loss. I am certified as an elementary teacher. I have my reading specialist certification. I have my principal certification. I have my supervisory certification. So I'm an aspiring leader as well.
Okay.
But my journey here right now, where I'm at, I am a first grade teacher currently.
Wow.
So I've been spending my time with the little ones, which we know. It's awesome. It's the foundation.
Right. What's your favorite grade to teach?
I'm going to say there's something about every grade that I've taught. The upper grades, I can say, are more independent. And certain things that you may say to them, they can connect because they understand a little more. The little ones, they are, first of all, you know, they tell the truth. So if I'm not together, they will let me know. But they will tell the truth. You know, kids don't lie.
At all.
So I like the journey of the little ones because they are learning their emotions. They're learning who they are.
Yeah.
And so you have more wiggle room to kind of teach them who they are. And everything's so grand to them. So it's just like that new, fresh, like, I'm ready. What do you have for me? And you need a lot of energy, and which I have. So I can say every grade that I've taught has its own thing. The upper elementary has its own thing. Lower elementary has its own thing, and you are laying more of the foundation when you have that first grade level. So
gotcha. So for me, I've been in education for 20 years. 20 plus years. Girl, child. All right. So I have taught adults, medical assistant. I was a medical assistant instructor for 10 years.
Okay.
Then I went to high school and I became like a youth development specialist, climate and culture specialist. Youth development specialist. Then I went to elementary school, climate and culture specialist. Then to middle school, to dean of students. Okay. You heard what I said? Teacher, high school, adults, high school, elementary, middle. By far, high school has been the place where I feel like I thrive, but also middle school. Because them elementary school babies, when I saw that you taught first grade, I said, to you. Because it takes a different level of care and like coddling and patience with parents, because you have like, the parents are very involved in elementary school. When in middle school, high school, they're a little bit hands off. And so you're not only teaching the students in elementary, you're also a parent, super parent liaison. How has that parent communication been for you as an educator?
I'm going to pin the slogan of not that educator, okay? Tradition is great.
Pinned. Do y'all see? Not that educator. And period.
Tradition, okay, in life. We know tradition, it can be helpful because it can give us a foundation. For me, I like to say that I'm not here to create robots. Whatever I say, go, stick, no. What I'm here to provide you with and your child with are things that not only can they relate in school, right? So they have those skills, but that they also are able to take it in life. Because that's what I am more worried about. Who are you outside when you leave me? Just as a parent, raising your own kid. Okay, I'm teaching you this, but everywhere I go, I don't want you necessarily to move. I want you to be able to take it and think about it on your own. How does that look for you? Because at a certain point in time, I can't live life with you. You have to live life for yourself. So for my students and for my parents, I'm letting you know there are some tight ships, and there are certain things that I have to put in order. But for me, sometimes you have to let them be. And from letting them be, you develop and work on what that looks like in your classroom. So I'm not going to, I do have patience sometimes. It could be a little downfall because I'm not going to be on your phone every step of the way. Right? They're first graders. They are still learning.
Yeah. I have a first grader upstairs.
They're still learning. They do need to be taught, right? And I also say, stop assuming. We can't assume. Everything is going to start from ground zero because even if you have, okay, you're in first grade, you had a kindergarten teacher, you may have went to preschool, but I want to start everything from ground zero because I don't want to assume that you know. I'm going to show. And how you pick it up from there will show me, okay, they did have this before, or no, this is their first time experiencing this. Everybody has their own rules, instruction, and I like to look at districts like family.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So everybody, has a big mama, a grandma, right? And grandma lays the foundation for her children. I'll say downtown, the superintendent, looking like grandma, big mama, right? And then we have houses, which are the schools. And then within the school, so there's a foundation, right, that everybody has to follow based off of what the district is saying, which Big Mama has taught everybody. Then you go to schools, and then within those schools you have classrooms. Right. So within those classrooms, it comes from me as for me in my house. So it's not everybody is measured in the same way. There's when we get prescriptions, you get your prescription for what you need. I'm getting my prescription for what I need. So there's a foundation in district. There's a foundation in the school. But when it comes to my classroom, as for me in my house, this is what I am doing because this is what I feel works for mine.
Right. Gotcha.
So that is where I am at in it. Because sometimes we think about how we control classrooms in a sense, like how do we want to set it up? What are some things we want to put out there so the kids are following? But also with that, you have to make sure that you leave room for the kids to be able to be who they are. You don't want to. You can still have some type of organization and control without taking away who that child is. No. Excuse me. I create that atmosphere that this is okay because sometimes, like I said, kids don't know what they can and cannot do, or they've been told by someone else, like, no, you can't do that. Right. We all know how we like to be. Right. So why are you putting that on a child, a student? Right. Think about your limits. Think about how you handle things and manage things. Treat the kids the same way.
So I'm a big culture person. Like my whole education journey has been about creating cultures in classrooms. And I have stepped out into the space of becoming a cultural leader for teachers, like teaching them how to not only manage classroom, but create a certain culture in their classroom that works for the student as well as the educator, and that is transferable skills to the next grade, right? So in your culture, in your first grade classroom, what kind of culture do you think that you shape that's transferable to the second grade classroom?
First of all, when it comes to children, you have to affirm them. So affirmations, affirmation stations have become very popular right now. Right? We know in education there's certain things, there's certain lingos, there's certain things that people are doing and incorporating in their classrooms, social emotional learning, all that, big terms that, come about that we, I have to implement. For me, it's one, affirming a student. This is what you want to say about yourself because you are that. And sometimes I address my students as Mr. and Mrs. and they look at me like, why are you calling me that? Because you are. You're a Mr. You're a Mrs. They think, oh, I'm little, so my name is such and such. It is, and you're a Mr. and Mrs. as well. Because I'm showing you my respect as well. Because sometimes, let's go back to the family. Remember, it's like, stay out of grown folks' business. Okay. Now we have to think about that. In a certain way to be, if you're acting a certain way, or you're saying certain things that, you feel that a kid shouldn't be saying, that's one thing. But stay in grown folks' business in a sense, understand what this world is, so that when you go out, it's not going to eat you whole. So I need to make sure that you know who you are. I'm going to tell you who you are, and then you're going to be able to realize who you are.
Right. So it sounds like you're building a culture of leaders. In first grade. And I love that. And I have some ideas for you when we finish this that will push your culture of leadership, because everything that I hear you saying is about like the Mr. and Mrs., the family culture. And so you're thinking, like, for me, what I see is that like you're thinking how you grew up, right? You were a leader amongst your huge family, right? And although you guys had this huge family, you had the grandma, you had your mother, you had your cousins. But in my room, this is my room, right? And so it's the same thing that you've created in education, but also the same thing that you are creating in your scholars, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm excited to see what type of leaders that, well, you've been in it for 20 years. I'm sure you have some students coming back saying, hey, Miss Harris, this is what I've done. Or
I can say, so my journey, I've been, in 20 years, I might have been at 8 or 9 schools.
Wow.
In a District 10, they can move you anywhere, and I'm okay with that. I signed the contract to be a part of this, so whatever they say I should do or where I should be, I signed up for that, so I have to be okay with that. And I'm okay with that in the sense that I say you sprinkle yourself everywhere. Okay, so I'm not here at this school anymore, but I know I left some seeds here.
Okay.
And I'll be I won't be here physically, but I'll be sprouting in that building because of some things that I've left. Like I said, when it comes to education and leadership in my classroom, and not that educator, because I don't want you silent the whole time. You're in the hallway, be quiet. You're in the lunchroom, be quiet. So when do they have the opportunity to be? No, there are limits, yes. So if somebody else is working, you're not going to have an outside voice while you're walking the hallway, but small conversations are okay. So for me, when it's like, we're going over, laying the foundation, how we walk in the hallway, you can have small conversation, be respectful of those who are around you. Like, you mean I don't have to do this? No, I want you to be. You have to develop. Now, again, growing up and talk about families, we've been given rules, so I'm going to allow you to do this the same way. We have free will, right? But you do certain things, this is what's going to happen. So right. I'm allowing you to do this. If you don't follow, there are things that come with that, but I'm not going to start by stripping everything away from you. Be you. You are a human. You are a person. Yes, you can talk. Do you need to sit in a seat all day? No, you do not in my classroom. I don't like to sit all day. Wherever you need to be. Like there are things I say that don't matter to me.
Yeah.
I mean, kids, these days, hoodies are the new outfits at all seasons, okay? I like to wear hats. Tradition. Where does that come from that it's disrespectful to wear hats?
In the building.
Right, in the building. That's if they're just head down, they're not paying attention. What does that mean? Okay, man, I need to find out what's going on and address that, right? But if they're wearing, they're happy, they're following along, they're doing what they need to do. Why am I going to break you down for something small when you're participating? So those are the type of things that don't matter for me.
Right.
Because why?
Right.
How does it affect you? If I'm teaching and you are participating, you're being part of this, I'm not touching that. Because now you're making an issue bigger than what it is, and now you have bigger problems. Let them be.
Gotcha. Wow, that education journey and you as an educator has been so amazing to hear. But because we're on a time constraint, we got to go into this fabulousness. When she walked in this house, y'all, the earrings, the jacket, the outfit, you were a representation, the makeup, the nails. Could you do like this for the people? I'm going to hopefully be able to zoom in on that. Listen, I love that you're a walking billboard for your other business, which is...
My business called Face Chef Makeup Artistry.
Face Chef.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am the Face Chef.
Okay. So tell us, how did you get into that?
So, I would like to call myself a serial edupreneur. There are things that people don't know about me. Now, if you're my coworker, and depending on how long you've been my coworker, you know, so you have the privilege of being able to see those things. But we talk about our gifts will make room for us, right? Mm-hmm. And you, again, I grew up in church, so hearing that, you hear it, but it's not until you become, until you realize what that looks like for you, that you begin to release those things. So I'm in my journey of releasing, right? Mm-hmm. We always talk about you want to die empty. We always say your gifts aren't for you, so they're not for me. I'm just carrying extra baggage and I need to get rid of it. Excuse me. So with that, in my journey of education, remember we talked about wanting to become a cosmetologist. Education, in a sense, allows you to release some of those things. So you have school clubs. Again, I dance. I've been a dance club teacher. We have plays. Mm-hmm. I've been a part of being able to be a choreographer for our plays. I had the opportunity to do the makeup for those who are a part of the plays. And education is a field of help. It's a field of giving. And I've naturally just done those things, right? And it's okay for your gifts to make room and be turned into a business. So for a while, just giving, naturally. Until you grow up, right? I didn't have the motto of a business. You know, you grow up, you think if you go to college and get a job, once you do that, you live the life. That's not it. Right? And I'm still breathing. So if I'm still breathing, there's still more that I can do. So that was a goal back then, but now there is much to a next level. So, okay, I'm always in the field of helping and giving and doing that. And outside of dancing, outside of teaching, I love to cook and bake as well. I will feed you.
I'm coming over.
yes. You ask anymore. So, the transition of doing what I do on a regular basis. So I'm gonna say, I've always been a cheerleader, a dancer. So there are minimal things that we wore back then, but we know the makeup. It's a makeup world now. We have social media. Things are out there, and it's like, you know what, a light bulb. My husband told me, like, you know, you have $1 million hands, right? So what are you gonna do with it? And I'm like, oh, okay. And so when he told me that I had $1 million hands, it still took a while, and I was still like out there giving, and it's like, no, now it's time to turn it into a business. What does that look like for you? So my love of doing makeup, my love of cooking, turned into the face chef. And I had to think about, how does that look as a business? Like, we have McDonald's, you have Chick-fil-A, you have Wendy's, all fast food. Everybody eats there, some more than others. So how can I separate myself? Because there's plenty of makeup artists. How can I separate myself? What does that look like for me? So the face chef, the love of what I like to do, came about, and just how I would promote it and extend myself so people can grasp the concept were things that I need to think about. So I went from just my everyday self doing things, and education allowed me to do the things that I do in addition to teaching, and turned it into a business. And here we are at the Face Chef Makeup Artistry.
Wow. Make sure you guys contact her. I mean, it has been a blessing to sit with you, to learn about your educational journey, how you started off as an educator, now a educator / entrepreneur, the face chef, a cook. Like, it's like you said, it's so many gifts inside of us. And I know me, I'm constantly evolving. Like, people are saying, what you doing now? Like, I hear people say that when they see me, you know, what are you doing now? And I'm like, I'm evolving. But the core of me never changes, right? So I've always been an educator. So what I do, I life coach, I'm crafty with my hands, I do the crafts or whatever. And I've been doing that since a child. And it's the same as you. And I think that this particular episode will encourage others that a lot of times your gifts are inside of you as a child, and then it just comes out as an adult, and you don't have to stay limited to a career. There's things inside of you that's outside of your career that you can make a business that you was just naturally born to do. So Chaneika, I would like you to share some words of encouragement as we end this segment. Hate ending conversations, but as we end this segment, I would love you to look at the screen and give some words of encouragement to our viewers, who may look like you or not, who may be standing in your shoes or not. Go ahead and share.
What is on the other side of fear, right? Think about your journey in life. I have to look at myself and say, I've never failed. Like, I have never failed. There were things that came about, right? Bumps, bruises, but I'm still here, and based off of what I've done and continue to do, I'm still growing. As long as you have breath in you, there's something for you to do. It's as simple as, I always say to people, it's as simple as an egg. Look at social media. Look at what people are doing. You're like, they posting that? Yes. Because there's somebody who does not know how to do what you know how to do, and you may be that person that they need to be able to deliver that message to them. Take fear away. Keep going. We heard to take the limits off, right? Okay. What does that look like for you, right? We have so many different things around us in this world. Take what's for you. Be you. Show you. You never know who is watching, right? Let them be. You be. Whatever that is for you.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at the GraceFully Educated podcast. And from Mrs. Harris's interview, I am almost certain that you learned about faith, learning with grace, and wisdom. I said that all backwards. Faith, wisdom, and learning with grace, all from Miss Harris. So if you love this particular content, make sure you leave her a comment in the comments down below. Tell her how much you appreciated her. Like this video, share this video, and until next time, be blessed, and I'll see you at the next episode of GraceFully Educated podcast. Bye.
Bye.